Hello and welcome to the second podcast in our new vessel replacement update series. I'm Sharon and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for the group. And in the second series, we hear from our CEO, Stuart Reed, as he captures a diary of events during his recent visit to Vietnam for the steel cutting ceremony.
Good morning all, it's Stuart Reed, just arrived at Heathrow Airport and currently checked in, gone through security, and later on this morning I'll be boarding a flight to Vietnam. Tomorrow marks a really important day in our new vessel project where I'll be attending the steel cutting ceremony at Pireu shipyard in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I'll also be catching up with our project managers Chris and Peter and attending a number of vessel construction kick-off meetings and inspecting the yard with Pireu's senior management team. Flight time combined is 15 hours via Singapore, so that's enough for now, and I'll do another update when I land later on. Good morning all. Currently sat at Singapore Airport, arrived earlier on this morning, 6 a.m. after a long flight from London Heathrow. 13 hours of flying, but very comfortable, managed to get some sleep over. I'll be meeting up with Chris and Peter later on today. Very excited now to see those guys and looking forward to visiting the shipyard and starting the steel cutting ceremony later on this afternoon. So it's now 2 p.m. in the afternoon of the 25th of June, just arrived at X51, the shipyard here in Ho Chi Minh City. Arrived with Jean-Baptiste from Pireu. I'm now standing on the banks of the Nabe River and busy. You can hear the ferry horns in the background. There's a roll and roll off car ferry which spans the delta. So I'm just watching that cross the river now. I'm just walking towards Chris and Peter's office, so we'll go up and meet them now. Obviously haven't seen them yet, it's been a long flight coming over, so we'll speak to them first and then we'll head over to the steel cutting ceremony. It's still incredibly hot here, it's still 30 degrees and so humid. So this is their office. Hi guys! You alright? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Site office.
Thank you very much. Good to see you both.
Welcome to Vietnam.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, so,
How was your trip?
yeah, good. Long flight. Managed to get some sort of sleep on the way over. So feeling fresh, ready to go, and ready for the steel cutting ceremony.
Excellent. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah. Should we make our way over there now?
Yeah, let's get some PPE on, and we'll go over to the cutting shop.
Excellent. Good stuff.
Very good.
This is a very proud day for the company, and the first pieces of steel cut today are recognition of the hard work put into our vessel project by the project team and Pireu and all of the Steamship Group employees over the past 4 years. Thank you.
So today I've arrived in Ho Chi Minh City, come down to the shipyard where I've met Peter and Chris, our project managers, met the Pireu team as well. We've been here today, we've been to the steel cutting ceremony, which was absolutely amazing, completely beyond my expectations. Amazing speeches by Pireu, which really captivated the essence of this project and what these new vessels will bring to the community of the Isles of Scilly and the hundreds of thousands of visitors which visit each year. There was a Vietnamese element of the ceremony as well, blessings, and then we moved to the actual steel cutting, and that was a very proud moment for the company. Standing there alongside that first piece of steel and pushing that button really signifies the start of this project. And we'll be back again in 2026, standing here in the shipyard in Ho Chi Minh to witness these new vessels being launched, and that will be a very important milestone, and really can't wait to see these vessels in 24 months' time. It's now 11:30 in the evening. Today has just been an absolutely amazing day. The arrival at the yard, meeting up with Chris and Peter and the rest of the Periu senior management team, being introduced to the team here in Vietnam, and then the steel cutting ceremony was absolutely amazing. The lengths that the shipyard had gone to were just astounding, completely overwhelmed, quite emotional really in terms of the whole process. Started off being introduced. Jean-Baptiste from Periu, their business development manager, gave an amazing speech, really sort of capturing what these new vessels will bring to Scilly. I was then asked to also do a speech which talked around the hard work that's gone into this project by the vessel project team, by all Steamship Group employees, by Periu, working together with Lombard NatWest in terms of securing the finance, and then the announcement that contracts were signed back in January really sort of shows that this has been 4 years of hard work to get to this position. And then following that came another real emotional part of the ceremony, which was the Vietnamese part, also including an element of a Buddhist ceremony where we lit incense sticks and then placed them at the head of a table which had an offering to ancestors. Really sort of quiet, watched on, but also was very humbled to take part in that as well. Really just a kind gesture to be included in that. Then came the business part, the steel cutting. Myself and Chris Lingham, our project manager, were asked to go over to the side of the cutting shed where I moved in front of the control panel for the steel cutting area for Scillonian IV. Likewise, Chris Lingham did the same for the new cargo vessel, and then a countdown commenced, and we were then asked to press the button, and on pressing the button the laser cutters sparked into life with sparks flying and really did start cutting the steel. For Scillonian IV, I watched as the laser cutter cut that first piece of steel. Was actually a window piece. You could see the sort of laser cutting happening right in front of us, sparks flying, and you could see the smiles on everybody's faces that this is really happening now. The build is commencing, and it isn't for the cameras. This is the very start of the steel cutting process. So after we left the steel cutting yard, turned behind me and the lasers were continuing to cut, and will sort of continue to cut tomorrow. We walked past the stock of steel, which is all stamped and verified as grade A steel, and Lloyd surveyors were also on site attending the ceremony as well. What followed then was a very hot and humid tour of the yard, all dressed in suits and boiler suits. It was very warm, but we got to have another good look around the yard, inspecting all areas of stock control, quality, having a look at some of the vessels which have just been built and launched by Periu, and the quality that's gone into those. Myself and the project team were all really pleased with the high quality and also the work ethic of the ship workers in the yard. One thing I did forget to mention as part of the ceremony was my thanks on behalf of the company to all the shipyard workers who had turned up today to be part of the ceremony. You could see from their faces that they're really pleased and thrilled that we're here and chosen the yard in Vietnam to build these very special vessels. And obviously, as I said in my speech, I look forward to coming back in October to do the keel laying ceremony, and then again in 2026 when these unique vessels finally be launched and will then start their journey round to first Concarneau and then on to Penzance and the Isles of Scilly, and we look forward to welcoming them in 2026.
We'd like to thank Stuart for the recording of his travel diary covering the first milestone ceremony whilst out in Vietnam. We hope you, our listeners and viewers, found this interesting, and on our next update we'll catch up with Chris and Peter, who are out in Vietnam, where they'll give us an update on the project from the Periu shipyard, talking us through the ongoing work streams that lie ahead. And if you missed our first podcast in this series, you can view it here by clicking on the link below.